don't really understand higher education, and one of the really neat things about this campus is we get to help them understand it. We get to touch people one at a time. One of the things that caused me to stay here for 16 years is the fact that we have a very personal interaction with our students.
The group thinking here among the students is tremendous. The amount of information that they pick up in a short period of time, because they exchange so much information between each other, they have an advantage. And that's the advantage of these small state universities.
The problem that the CSU faces and the UC faces of ongoing systematic budget shortfalls might indicate something really tragic.
We've lost 16% of our full-time teaching faculty, and that is the highest in the CSU system.
We just can't seem to create a trusting and collaborative relationship with the president and with the administration that he hires. So as long as the president insists that whatever he wants done is the only way it's going to be done, in spite of anything else, as long as we have that attitude, we really can't get anywhere together.
The president has employed the practice of seeking advice and creating committees of people that only look at it from his perspective, so as to create the perception that he is turning to various bodies in order to create these decisions, and nothing could be further from the truth.
I don't believe our administration believes that this campus ought to be a democratic institution at all. I think that they believe that this should be a top-down corporate entity where those in more hierarchically upper positions are the ones who have full control.
We're looking at the 4th provost now in 5 years. We've had 4 vice presidents for finance and business. We've had 4 or 5 vice presidents for development. I mean, this doesn't reflect upon those individuals, it reflects on the management and the leadership.
I never knew it was possible for 91% of the faculty to vote no confidence with not 90% turnout. That's like unheard of.
No hikes! No fees! Education should be free! No fees! Education should be free! No hikes! No fees! Education should be free!
You know, when you have students doing these rallies and showing up in front of his house, I mean, the consensus is that we need a change in the administration, but we don't even know, like, where does it say? How do we go about changing the administration?
President Cervani is a product of the larger problem. He is the one that is most identifiable on our particular campus, but he is, in fact, following a blueprint that has been constructed at the center of the chancellor's office itself.
In the old days, you felt more like the person who was in the administration was somebody like you know, that was a faculty member who had gone up through the ranks. They were good at administration. You got more of a feeling that it was somebody who was actually trying to help. Now, I really get the feeling like the people we're getting, they're here to take advantage, right? Rather than to help, they're here to take advantage.
The trend is a trend towards bureaucratization of professional work. And bureaucratization means a couple of things. One is the elimination of peer review and self-regulation and the autonomy of the professions themselves, and replacing that with high levels of oversight and control by a hierarchical organization, essentially by management.
The faculty have set up an academic senate. They've set up a series of committees in all different areas, including the budget advisory and the faculty budget advisory committees, all of which are mechanisms geared to incorporate faculty input into decision making. All that needs to take place is for the leader at the top to accept a democratic style and open the doors for these mechanisms to take place.
In his public relations office, there has been a lot of talk about this notion of open dialogue. Kristen Olson, who is the spokesperson for the president, has spoke often about this open dialogue. But I would be more than happy to ask Kristen Olson to pinpoint any single time that the president during this academic year has actually addressed the faculty as a whole.
We no longer have dialogue. We don't have dialogue, you know, up the chain of command here up to the president's office. We don't have dialogue coming down, we have statements coming down. I've never even met the president of this school. I mean, you would think that at least once in the 2.5 to 3 years I've been here, that he would have walked through the art department.
People come up and ask me, so the students, there's a lot of tension between the students and the faculty. I'm like, no, we're on the same page. So this message is getting out there that this is somehow all the faculty's fault and that they're not working hard enough and they're not productive and they're really just complaining, or that the students are against the faculty or the faculty are against the students, and like that's not the case.
Faculty, being experts in their fields, are the ones who have the kind of knowledge required to be able to evaluate and make judgments about what people do in those fields. So the group of faculty who would best judge what should be in a philosophy curriculum would be people with philosophy degrees.
When my president writes editorials to the Chronicle of Higher Education, he talks about how people need to get over this sense of entitlement, that people shouldn't think they're entitled to a college education. I think that is the diametric opposite of the legislation that set up the CSU. We were set up precisely because our society agreed people are entitled to a higher education if they can do it.
The most effective approach to classroom teaching is the lecture process itself, and it's that sort of one-on-one approach to education where you have a student that's right there in front of you.
Clearly, our students in a classroom learn best when they can raise their hand, they can ask questions, when they can be involved in interactive learning activities. They really benefit from being able to ask questions directly to the teacher, either in class or in the office after class. And I think we'll lose them almost for sure as we go online.
There's a huge push to do education online, but the crux of what we teach here is a way of thinking about the world, a way of analyzing things, a critical approach, a way of questioning things and figuring out for yourself what your understandings might be rather than just accepting somebody else's.
You can't take an online music course. You just can't. You need that one-on-one intention with an instructor. It's just one of those areas where you have to have a teacher. It's integral.
There's this push towards moving towards, more online classes, and as an artist, an art major, you can't do that. It's something you do with your hands, that you do hands-on. There's just no way around it.
I object fundamentally to the idea that online courses are a good idea in order to save money. That shouldn't be their primary purpose, and I don't think they'll work well if that is how they're treated. If you treat an online course as a way of cutting funding to a department or a program, you'll end up with the worst case scenario for that course.
The latest thing I've seen on the university website is, great, the demand for online classes is just really taken off here. Well, you know what? You took all these classes away, you put online as their only option, and sure, I guess you could technically say there's more of a demand for it.
No hikes, no fees. Education should be free, no hikes, no fees. Education should be free, no hikes, no fees. Education should be free, no hikes, no fees. Education should be free.
It's easier for people to get involved than they think. That it's just a matter of if you just show up to a rally and share a story, or just sharing, linking to a news story on your Facebook, or emailing it out, because we're finding that traditional media isn't the best way necessarily to get our message across.